Hey, what's up everybody, it's Chris F. City of the Wolves is here. It's a new game, which means we got a lot to learn, but don't worry, I'm here and I'm going to help you guys learn. In this video, we're going to be going over some really essential tech that I think is important to learn in this game when you're first starting, and unfortunately the tutorial doesn't do a great job, or much of a job at all, of explaining some of the really important things in this game. So let's get right to it. If you guys have played older SNK games, you'll be very familiar with this issue, but if you try to walk forward and do a fireball in this game, you're going to get a DP. And if you play Street Fighter 6, you'll know exactly how this feels and how painful it is when you get a DP by accident. But there's an easy way to fix this issue. All you have to do is TK your Hadouken input. What does TK mean? It means instead of ending on forward here for your fireball, you would end on up forward and then do your fireball. You have to do it quickly so your character doesn't actually jump by accident. But if you just do it like this, so I'm on leverless, so it'd be like down, forward, jump plus punch. And I would hold forward while I'm doing this on leverless. But if you're on an arcade stick or a pad, you just kind of roll up to up forward. So this way, if you walk forwards, there. Now I'm getting a fireball as opposed to a DP. So if you're ever like dashing forward or running forward and you want a fireball and not a DP by accident, make sure you're ending on up forward, jump, and then you push your punch button. From my testing, it seems to be more consistent if you do a half circle to up forward as opposed to just a quarter circle forward. Because kind of like here, if you look at my inputs, if you miss the down forward input, like the diagonal, you'll still get a DP. So just for me, I prefer doing a half circle forward on leverless, but for you guys on arcade stick or pad, I don't think you have to worry about that. You can just do a typical quarter circle forward that ends on up forward. Yeah, tiger knee it. So if you don't know that one, now you know, try it out. I'm sure it's going to save you a lot of problems. All right, so let's go on to the next tip. And it's a super important one. The next tip is don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on this video, because if you do that, it helps support me as a content creator and lets me make more videos like this in the future. Now with that over with, let's get to the real next tip. In this game, there's a buttonhole technique, and this is in the tutorial, but I'm going to cover it one more time because you need to know this first part to know the second part that isn't in the tutorial. So I'm going to record Terry just doing throw into a melee attack. Pretty basic stuff, right? So when you get knocked down, me as the rock player, I don't actually have to time my DP. All you have to do is just generally input a DP motion and then just hold the attack button down until you get up. And as long as you weren't off by like a million frames, the DP will come out frame one. So as soon as your character's like gonna get up, hold the button down, you have a very generous window to just hold the button down and get the wake up DP. Now this isn't just for DPs, this is for any special move when you get up off the ground. And of course, just to be thorough, this works with supers as well. You don't really have to time your supers, just generally input it, hold the button down, and it'll come out frame one. But let's go over something that wasn't in the tutorial. You can use that same buttonhole technique to link specials together. So I'm gonna go quarter circle back to punches, which is this, and then I'm gonna cancel it into OD fireball. You would never want to do that in this combo. It's not a good combo for Rock, but just so you understand, let's just look at this. So you might think, wow, this timing is kind of tight and I'm missing it sometimes, right? You don't have to time this. All you do is as soon as this move hits, the second hit of this quarter circle back thing, the elbow and the punch is the one that's cancelable into another OD move. But you don't have to time it with when the punch hits. All you have to do is just generally input the next move, hold the buttons down, and it'll come out the first frame possible where you can cancel. Another good example of this is doing DP. Rock can do OD DP into air fireballs, and it looks like this. Now you might be thinking, wow, timing these air fireballs is kind of hard, because if you time it a little bit too late, it whiffs, right? But instead of doing that, all you have to do is once you get up into the sky, input it, hold the buttons down, and you'll get the fireball on frame one, and the timing will always be consistent. It'll always come out on the same frame as early as possible for it is to come out. So that's the buttonhole technique when you're canceling specials. And this also applies to juggles, right? Let's say I juggle with DP break, and I want to link it to my super. I don't have to time this. I just do DP break, hold the button down, and it comes out frame one. All right, so that was the buttonhole technique. Next one, let's do Rev Dash. All right, so some characters have runs, and some characters have dashes. And you can't choose who gets what. That's the character. So Rock, he can run forward, but if I choose somebody like Marco has a dash. So you can't run with this character no matter how much you want. If you have a dash, you can cancel your dash. You don't have to dash the whole way. If you hold forward down, you'll get the full dash. But if you either tap back or tap down back, you can cancel your dash a little bit shorter. Now, what you can do, instead of tapping forward all the time to get your dash, you can dash just by holding Rev Guard and tapping forward. It's really easy. Same thing with backdash. You can just tap Rev Guard plus backdash and you'll get a backdash. But you can, like, how can I say, kind of like do a Tekken wave dash thing, because you can cancel dashes into each other. So what you would do is you would just go 6, 3, 6, 3 while holding the Rev Guard button down. And you can cancel dashes with a crouch into another dash. You can't do this with backdash. Doesn't work. But if you get the timing just right, you get this really fast forward dash. It's like a wave dash in Tekken. But that's not all. There's more stuff we can do. I'm going to show you some cool stuff with dashes. You guys ready? I'm going to switch back to Rock because he has a run. You can buffer a run into a special to get more range. So let's say I wanted to do this. Raging Storm. Rock's level 1. Against Terry, who's hopping. Alright, so I'm going to record Terry hopping like this. And I want to anti-air with this. But I'm out of range. Alright, check this out. You buffer the super, and then you dash, and then you cancel the dash with the last input. And you get an auto dash extended run super. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that properly? I think I'm saying this like the biggest nerd in the world. Like that. All you need to do is you push quarter circle forward, you hold forward down, and it doesn't matter if you're on leverless or arcade stick or pad, it works the same way. Quarter circle forward, you hold forward down, you tap Rev, so you tap and hold Rev Guard, which will give you the run, and then you just do one more quarter circle forward, and you get the dash special. So basically you buffer the first input of quarter circle forward, then you run, and then you cancel the run while you still have the buffer window of your first quarter circle forward. And the buffer window is pretty large. So this is really, really good. Then I'm going to show you guys either dash or backdash option selects. So we need to talk about rolls. This is really important, probably one of the most important tips I'm going to show you in this guide, this video, because this is not in the tutorial. Wake up options. There are actually 5 wake up options in this game. All right. So I'm going to record Terry just doing a sweep, and I'm going to show you what the wake up options are. Okay. There are soft knockdowns and hard knockdowns. Most of the knockdowns are soft knockdowns. There are ways to force hard knockdowns. We're not going to get into that now, but just understand there are soft knockdowns and hard knockdowns. Same as like Street Fighter 6. If Terry does a sweep and I do nothing, my character just gets up in place. That's a do nothing option. That's your first option to get up off the ground. Now then after that, you have 4 different options you can choose from. You can choose a short roll forward, a long roll forward, a short roll back, or a long roll back. And this is not in the tutorial. So watch this. If I hold light punch and forward, I roll forward. If I hold forward and heavy punch, I do a long roll forwards. Then if I hold back and light punch, I do a small roll back. And if I hold back and heavy punch, I do a big roll back. Now you might be asking, okay, why would I use those? What's the point? This game is not like Street Fighter. You have throw protection when you get up off the ground. Okay, so let's say Terry puts me in the corner and Terry does something like this. Terry does throw into throw. See how that throw whiffed? In Street Fighter, this would work. And that's why there are throw loops in Street Fighter 6. Because when you get up off the ground in Street Fighter 6, you don't have throw protection. So you can do meaty throws in Street Fighter 6. But in City of the Wolves, there is throw protection, which means you cannot do a meaty throw on your opponent's wake up. If you want to throw your opponent after they get knocked down, you have to delay your throw until their throw protection ends. But that means they can mash when they wake up and beat you because you have to wait. So basically you have to teach your opponent to respect your knockdown and stop pushing buttons. You have to force them to block, then you can go for a throw. If you go for any of the roll options, you lose the throw protection. Then you can get meaty thrown when you wake up. So here's what we're gonna do just to demonstrate it. I'm gonna set Terry to do a wake up jab, okay? We're gonna go recording slot 2. I'm gonna record him doing a wake up jab. It's a 4-frame move, I think. Okay, 5-frame. So he's gonna wake up with a jab. I'm gonna try to throw him as soon as he gets up off the ground. He hits me. Why does he hit me? Because even though the throw technically hits meaty, there's throw protection, so I can't throw Terry. So it looks like wake up jabs beat throw, but that's not actually what's happening. What's happening is your throw just doesn't work because they have throw protection. But then if I go for like a meaty attack, I can beat my opponent mashing. But if Terry decides to wake up with a roll, he loses the throw protection. Not just Terry, like anybody in the game. Let's go backwards. So this time, Terry's gonna do a short roll backwards. So let's do it in the corner. He rolls backwards when he gets up off the ground. But this time, I can throw him meaty. See how it was a counter hit? See how this time it works? That's because when he does a roll, he loses the throw protection. So now you can do meaty throws against opponents when they roll. But you might be thinking, okay, well, they can do 4 different kind of rolls. They might roll forward, they might roll backwards. How are you supposed to actually time, like, see how I whiffed? How are you supposed to get them? And then you might be fighting people online or at locals where you knock them down and you have no idea which way they're gonna roll. And you think, wow, that's kind of dumb. I don't know which, look, my move whiffed. I tried to medium, he rolled, I guessed wrong. What do I do? Well, here's what you do. Here's a really sick option select you can use to beat every single kind of roll. What you're gonna do is you knock down your opponent on a soft knockdown, and you're gonna hold forward plus rev guard to run at them. This also works if you have a dash character. I'll show you what dash characters later. But basically you do this, and then once you get like on top of the opponent, you immediately hit back plus rev guard plus your meaty attack. I'm gonna set Terry to do a short forward roll, okay? I'm gonna go like this. See that? Watch this. Yeah, that's the short roll, bar roll. See what just happened there? You see how Rock ran this way, but then as soon as Terry rolled to the other side, Rock auto-corrected and ran the other way? That's because as soon as you get on top, if you hold 4 while holding the rev guard, or back while holding the rev guard, the character will kind of auto-correct and run in the opposite direction. Now back. Alright, back far. Alright, so now we're gonna go random. And if I pull this off successfully, it'll beat every option. Okay. See that? Yeah, I mistimed it, but that was right. So now you can beat every single roll with one easy option select. So your opponent can't just start rolling and trying to mix you up mid-screen. That doesn't fly here. It doesn't fly because you watch this video now, you know. So if you ever fight an opponent who thinks they're being nice, or think they're being smart by changing up their roll timings, tell them, nah, get out of here. I know how to beat that. Boom. Like this. Then you can also go for a throw if you want, I think. I think you can also go for a throw here. Yep, just like this. Alright, with a dash character, let's load up a dash character. Yeah, see, it works with dash characters too. I will say I think it's easier with run characters, but definitely possible with dash characters as well. Alright, let's do the feint system. Okay, so feint system, what is it? How does it work? A really integral part to this game. A lot of things are based on the feint system. In its essence, all it really is, it's just you doing the startup of a move, but then not actually doing it. And it's the startup of a special move. So Rock's doing this. This looks like he's going to teleport like this. This is quarter circle back special. Quarter circle back A is this kind of dashing elbow. But if you just stand in place and you push your feint button, sorry, if you push down plus your feint button, I misspoke there, you'll get your feint, so it doesn't come out. This can make your opponent think you're going to do something, but then you don't. So for example, with Rock, if you push forward plus feint, you get this kind of little swing motion. and it looks like the startup to his fireball. So you can kind of trick people. You can do a fake fireball, they jump, and then you can either anti-air them, you can do your universal anti-air, you know, you can try to do DP break to anti-air them, whatever you want. You can just kind of make them second guess how they're playing neutral against you because they think you're going to throw a fireball, but then you actually don't. So you can do like fireball, 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 you know the drill. So that's how feints can be used in neutral. Now, every character has a different number of feints. Rock actually has 3 feints. He has a neutral feint, down feint, and a forward feint. Let's pick a different character just to show you. So for Kevin, he only has 2. He has a neutral feint and a down feint, but he doesn't have a forward feint. The forward feint is the same as his neutral feint, and he doesn't have a back feint. So he only has 2. But what you can do is you can actually use this to cancel your moves. Before we get into that, I wanted to do one important thing that isn't in the guide or the tutorial, and this was new, I think, for this release of the game. It might have been in the second beta, I can't remember. But basically, as of this version, you can push the heavy punch plus light kick attack, and that'll also give you a feint. I don't think this is in the tutorial. A lot of people don't know this. This is important because if you're playing on like a regular arcade stick where you only have 8 buttons, or if you're playing on a pad, you might not have extra buttons like I do. So you can push heavy punch plus light kick, which is B and C, and this will give you a feint. So this is really important. If you don't know this, remember this. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, it's just a feint in neutral. It's not that important. Wrong. It's incredibly important. Any move that is special cancelable is also feint cancelable. So let's say with Kevin here, I do close C, right? Look at this. On hit, I'm -2. Now I'm going to feint cancel. I'm +5. Because the recovery of this feint cancel is shorter than the recovery of this move. So moves that are minus on hit can be turned into plus on hit. Also, if your opponent blocks, check this out. That close heavy punch, -6. Close heavy punch into neutral feint, +1. Usually, characters will have one heavy normal that leaves them significantly plus if you feint it. So for Kevin, it's close D. So close heavy kick. Close heavy kick into feint, +3. Really, really important to know, feints are great for establishing pressure on block and also for extending combos. So here, this is +7 on hit. Does Kevin have a +7? Yes, he does. So Kevin's close C is 7 frames. So if you do close D, feint, close C, there, that combos. So you can establish pressure this way, go into your combos like that. Super important. I haven't found a character that can feint cancel off a light and still be plus. Usually it's only after heavies. That's also because lights in this game, whether it's on block or on hit from close range, they're generally already plus. You don't need to feint cancel these to get extra plus frames. So close A, +5. If I feint cancel this, -7. Doesn't matter which one I use, -11, -17, -7. So you would never want to feint cancel this. Right, you have to experiment with your character, figure out what you want to do, that kind of stuff. So you can keep up your pressure like that. Okay, everybody, this video is getting a little bit long. I really want to keep it under 20 minutes, so I'm going to end it here. I'll be back with at least one more video that'll go over some of the other more important things I think you need to know about this game. If you enjoyed this video, or if there's something you don't understand, let me know in the comments, because I love to hear from my viewers. And as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Peace.